Hey guys, welcome back to Sculpt and Pound. I hope you guys liked last week's video. I hope it gave you some ideas and some projects to do during this time. I hope it gave you some different creative ways of doing different things and using the materials that you might have at home. Again, I'm sorry if I'm using materials that you don't have at home. I apologize. It's a little hard because I don't know what you have at home. So I'll try my best to give you ideas or other suggestions of things that you could use at home. So I will try my best with that, and I hope you guys like today's activity because I'm super psyched about it. I used to make these as a kid all the time. So this is a little turtle. And using this weaving pattern is called the God's Eye. I don't know why it's called that, but I really loved making these as a kid, and it was really relaxing to do these. And I could do these in front of the TV or just in my spare time. And you could mix the different colored yarns to make these, or you could buy yarns that look like this with like a bunch of different colors in them. I prefer these, so that way you get like a cool mixture of rainbow colors when you start weaving these. So this guy's just a little turtle that I had made, and I thought he turned out pretty good. I think he's really cute. And I'm gonna show you this way and then possibly another way of doing it. And then I have another weaving project, so I hope you guys have some yarn at home. If not, you could just use string or twine maybe for this project. Again, I'm sorry if you don't have yarn at home. Maybe shoelaces. If you have some shoelaces that you don't use anymore, you could try shoelaces. But really, yarn is so much fun to work with. You could make so many different projects with it. You could learn how to knit, you could learn how to loom, weave, and so many other things. So I'm gonna show you how to do something like this today, and hope you're able to do it at home. If you are, please share with me some pictures that you might have. I would love to see what you guys have been working on at home. Even if it's not my projects, if you've been working on some of your own projects, I would love to see those as well, because I'm an art teacher. I'm open to new ideas, and I love what you guys keep making in here and outside of class. Some of my students show me things that they make outside of class that are really cool, and they inspire me to make new crafts for you guys. So I'm gonna get started, and so I'm just gonna tilt the camera over here this time. Alrighty. There we go. So I hope that doesn't fall. Alrighty. And if you guys can't see, I also apologize. I'll try to zoom in and out as much as I can. So I think we're gonna be making a turtle today, because turtles are always fun. Now, during this first step, I like to do hot glue. But again, if you're a little kiddo, I don't recommend doing hot glue because you can hurt yourself with hot glue. Just stick with the Elmer's glue. And with the Elmer's glue, you will have to wait for this to dry, which I know it's not that great, but patience is also an important thing in life. So we're gonna just wait for this to dry. Well, not during the video. I'm gonna glue it with hot glue for this video, so that way it speeds up the process. So what you guys can do is you're just gonna glue 2 popsicle sticks. You can also do just sticks you find outside. If you have some old, like these are pretty old, if you have some old paintbrushes, you can use those. These would need to be hot glued, but you could also use sticks that you find outside. I think those ones are pretty cool. You could research this project online. You just put in weaving with the God's Eye, or God's Eye weaving, and it'll pop up like a bunch of different things that you could do with that specific weave. And a lot of them have sticks that you can use outside. Now, if you don't want to go outside or you have popsicle sticks at home, that is great. I like to use popsicle sticks because they're nice and smooth, and it's like easier to wrap your yarn around, and it doesn't get snagged as easy. But if you don't have popsicle sticks, you could always use sticks that you find outside. You could use old pencils, whichever. You just would have to hot glue gun them. That's the only thing, or have an adult hot glue them for you, just so that way they don't pull apart and you get frustrated with it not staying and being glued. So I did this one with 2 popsicle sticks. Now you could do one with 3. There are some ideas out there that recommend 3. Now that's up to you. I like doing 2, so I'm just going to show you how to do the 2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my handy dandy hot glue gun. Now when doing this, make sure your popsicle sticks are nice and even, meaning that one side isn't longer than the other. Oh. So I might need to do that again. So make sure you have like a perfect X. Okay. So now is the time that you could choose your yarn. I'm gonna do, I don't know, should I do blue or green? Blue or green? I don't know, I really like the blue. I thought purple was a good color for this, but I don't really like this color, purple. It's a little dark, so I'm gonna switch to the blue this time. Oops. And this yarn is a little thicker, so it might come out a little differently, but I'm gonna try it out and see. So if you want to add different colors, you totally can, and I'll show that to you in a second. I'll probably do blue and green for this one, just to show you that you can add multiple colors to this project. So I'm going to take a nice long piece of string / yarn, put that off to the side. Now when starting this, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see. Okay. So when starting this, I would have you start by tying your yarn to your popsicle stick. So I'm laying my yarn down and I'm putting my X or popsicle sticks right on top so it looks like that. All right? Then I'm gonna tie it down, or tie it together as you will. Right? And then I'm gonna give it a knot. There we go. And then cut the extra off. So then when you flip it over, it looks like this. You have like a blue piece of string right in the middle of your X. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make an X with my yarn. And I'm just gonna wrap it over. So here's my middle one. And I'm gonna wrap it over to the right side, creating another kind of like mini X. Just like that. And then I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna wrap it again in that same spot. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually go over onto this side, wrapping around this popsicle stick. And then I'm gonna go under and back over to cross over my other side of my X. Now your yarn is on this side, like over here, because I had just wrapped around. Now I want you to wrap around the same popsicle stick, but on this side, right here. Now I want you, so now your string is underneath. So you had just wrapped around and you've gone under. Now I want you to go onto this popsicle stick. So we're still staying underneath, but we're going and wrapping around this one. Now I want you to go over to this side and wrap around this guy. Just like that. So now we have kind of like a box around our X. So it's kind of boxed around. So now what I want you to do is fill in that box. Now you're like, what do you mean by that? And what I mean is I want you to cover where you see some openings with the popsicle stick with your yarn. So I'm going to go over on a diagonal again. Then I'm going to go back over to this side. You could do it more than once on a diagonal. You could wrap around. So basically I'm just wrapping around diagonally to cover and make kind of like almost like a big giant knot on top of my popsicle sticks. Now I hope that made sense. So basically I'm just covering the parts where I still see the popsicle stick in the middle. Now I'm gonna work my way and start weaving. So we're gonna start weaving onto our side. So I'm gonna start on my left. You can start on the right or maybe we should start on the right, since most of you may be right-handed. So let's start on the right. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap around this popsicle stick once. So what I did is I'm wrapping around once, and then after I wrapped around once, I'm going straight to the next one and I'm wrapping around it. I'm not going twice or 3 times, that's 3 times. I'm just going once, and then I'm turning it in my hand and going to the next one. And I just wrapped around once, going to the next one, wrap around once, going to the next one, wrap around once, going to the next one, and so on and so forth. So there we go. And while you're doing this, try to keep your string up against the middle. So if you need to like push the yarn down or towards the center, go ahead. Or if you need to keep your thumb on top of that middle piece of yarn or in the middle of your popsicle sticks, go ahead. I feel like that is the best place to put your hand. And then you're gonna wrap around. So we're gonna continue wrapping. So once, go to the next one. Once, go to the next one. Once, go to the next one. You kind of have to like turn it as you're going, and you're also moving this hand. So it's a little bit of hand coordination, meaning you're using both hands at the same time. One is doing one thing and one is doing something else. So then keep going. Oops. And it's easy to lose track, so just keep in mind. So Make sure you're just going once, because it's easy to lose track and go twice and then go to the next one, but that's gonna mess you up a lot. But if so, you just unweave it and go again. Go ahead. Uh-oh. Now I'm out of my blue string. So what I can do next is I could switch over to my green one. Oops. Now I'm gonna unravel some green for myself. Snip it off. Now what you could do, oops, sorry, you can't see. So I ran out of my blue, and so I'm gonna attach green to it. So how do we do that? We're just gonna do a simple knot. So I'm gonna tie my pieces of yarn over each other like that. And then make a knot. But then you're like, well, I don't like these, so what you can do is you could just snip these off. There you go. And you could hide this within, while you're weaving, you could just tuck it in. Hope this isn't too blurry for you. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit. Okay. So if you lost your place, just go to where your yarn is kind of curved around. Or you could see on this side where you last did your loop. So you did your last loop on this one. So we did our last loop on this one. So we're gonna go to this stick. So if you need to flip it over, go ahead. So we're wrapping around, going to the next one. And if you don't like how I'm doing it on this side, you could always flip it over and do it on this side. This side might be easier for you to understand, because on this side you're seeing the different angles and it's looking more like a square on this side. So you're seeing the sides of the square, if that helps. Now I'm going on this side because I feel like it's easier to see it on this side, so that way I'm not losing my loops or doing too many loops on this side. But if you want to go on this side, go on this side. So what I'm gonna do, oops, is loop, go to the next one, loop, go to the next one, loop. And see, that knot is gonna be hidden on this one because we're gonna see this side. So that's right there. And now we're gonna switch onto the green because we tied it to our blue. So now all the blue is finished. So now we're switching to our green string. So we're going loop, 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 loop. So we just did one round of green. That helps. So I might switch on to this side for a little bit just to show you that you could also work on this side. But it might be too, I feel like it's confusing. I don't know, I like working on this side. It's less confusing for me, but it's up to you. So, loop. Loop. Go to the next one, 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 and loop. There you go. See? I like how that's looking already. Oops. Oh, I lost my place. So I'm gonna try to work on this side. No, it's just not working for me. Oh, I see. Because I didn't, no. Okay, loop. Okay, loop. There we go. I don't know, for some reason I can't figure out how to do it on the other side. But like I said, you could do this in front of the TV. You could show this to your friends. You could show this to your friends over video if they don't have access to my videos. But once you learn it, it kind of sticks in your head. Because all you're doing is looping around a popsicle stick. Or a stick. So now, as I'm working, you could see that my square or diamond shape is getting bigger. So that actually looks like an eye almost. That's kind of cool. Or like a square within a green square. Or a blue square within a green, like a bigger green square. So, I still can't figure it out. So this way. Go. And this does take some time and getting used to, because you guys still need to figure out how to hold it, how to turn it. So it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge, but I know you guys could do it, especially with some patience. So definitely bring out your inner patience and teach yourself how to weave. Now, my green is out. I'm out of green. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to a different color. I think my next color is gonna be red. Red is such a nice pop of color. Or if you want to keep doing green, that's fine too. Like I said, I'm just showing you with the different colors just to show you that you can add so many different colors to this. So, if you need to unravel to get some of that extra string out so you could tie a new knot, go ahead and unravel it. So if you don't know how to tie a knot with yarn, I'm going to show you. So you make an X. So you're going to bring the red one, whoops, the red one over and back up. So that way, kind of looks like your green one is wrapping around the red and your red one is wrapping around the green. So I'll show you that one more time. So I'm making a big X. I'm gonna bring my red one over, kind of making like a pretzel or a loop-de-loop. And then I'm gonna go under the green and then back through this red little hole right here. And there we go. And then you just pull to make your knot. So next, you just snip the ends that you don't want. Just like that. If you want to put some glue on your yarn too to help you, you could also work with glue, but the thing with glue is that it is really messy and it absorbs right into the yarn. So glue may not be the best choice, but if you definitely want things to stay a little bit more in place, you could always add glue. Like say you want the string to stay on the popsicle stick more, you could add some glue onto the popsicle stick, like right here, and then weave onto that glue. You could always do that. It's just a little bit more of a messy process when doing that. So go ahead, start weaving. Oh, my knot fell off. Excuse me while I tie this knot again. There we go. So that time I pulled a little too hard. So when you do your knots, try not to pull so hard. Go. Oops. See? So now it's like a red square around my green square around my blue square. So just keep going. So after getting back to this side, I just completed 2 rounds of red. Now I'm gonna work on my third one. So 1, so wrap around, go to the next one, wrap around, go to the next one, wrap around, go to the next one, wrap around, go to the next one. And if you get really good at this, you'll be able to go so fast, but don't go too fast or else you're gonna lose your place. See? So if you turn it this way, it looks like a diamond. Like this, it's a square. So I think I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna show you the next part. You could keep going all the way to the end if you want. That's up to you. But I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna just, so how you end it is you're gonna put like a little bit of glue. Or you could tie it. But tying it at this point is a little hard. So just add some glue and let it dry. I'm gonna use some hot glue because I'm trying to take this video for you guys. So I'm using hot glue. So that way it stays in place while I start showing you the next step. So there we go. I added my glue. And so it's gonna rest there. If a little bit is hanging off, you could always cut it with scissors. So next, for my turtle, because we are making a turtle, you could also leave it this way, if you like it this way. And you could always just hang it. You could also decorate it with beads, sequins, jewels, whatever you like, or what you have, depending on what you have at home, but you could also decorate it with a bunch of things. But for today, we're gonna make our little turtle guy. So I'm gonna grab some green construction paper. And what I'm gonna draw first is the head. So I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit so you guys can see what I'm drawing. So if you need this as a guide to or like a measuring tool to see how big your head is gonna need to be, go ahead and just draw a circle. And then go ahead and cut that out. Add some glue. Oops. Oops. Add some glue. And then you're gonna put the head right there. And that's where my head went. Now what you're gonna be doing is the feet. So you're gonna do 4 feet. If you want, you could always fold your paper. And next I'm just gonna go bump, bump. And then you could go ahead and cut those out. But then you're like, well, Miss Nikki, like, we just made a big, long oval. Like, that's not feet. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut this in half. And now you have 4 little feet that are like, kind of like little domes. And then I'm gonna go back to my turtle. A little glue on the 4 popsicle sticks that I have here. And then attach those little feet. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I gave my little guy a little tail, because turtles do have tails. This one's a little bit thin, so I'm gonna try that again. There we go. So all you're doing is kind of like a thin triangle. There you go. And to make it look like a happy turtle, what you could do is flip it so it's facing you, and then give it a nice little smile. Some little eyes, and there you go. You have a little turtle friend. Now, this one turned out a little bit bigger, but that's because I went all the way a little bit closer to the edge. So see the difference? So this one, I went a little further, whereas this one I kept a little bit smaller, so that way I could show you how and where to attach the feet of our little turtle. So that's the underside of our turtle. You can see the difference. Now, like I said, there are different ways of doing these turtles. There's one that I saw on the internet where you add a fifth one, or not a fifth one, a third popsicle stick right in the middle of your X, like this, and then the shape would come out a little different. So I'm gonna do this one really, oops, my goodness. So I'm gonna show you how this one would turn out. If you were to do, kind of looks like a snowflake, but in the picture that I saw, this was the head, this was a little foot, this was a little foot, these two were his back legs, and then this was the tail. You could also do it that way. So here, let me show you. This is what I saw online. Here were the little claws to the turtle. This was the tail, and this was the head. I'm just gonna zoom in just a little bit. And then what you would do, I'm going to use a different yarn for this one just to show you how many different ways you can make this one, because this project could get really, really interesting. So I'm going to use this one just to show you the difference. You could use string that has multiple colors in it, which makes it look really cool in the end. Or you can mix and combine your own colors of whatever you have at home. So here's one that has like all the fancy colors within it. And I'm gonna tie it in the middle, like I did with my other one. I'm gonna knot it. Oops. Cut off the extra. Make sure it's nice and tight. Then I'm gonna make so I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap it until I don't see the middle part. Now I'm just wrapping. I'm not going in a specific way like I showed you on this one, but this one is a little different, so you have to wrap it a certain way in the middle. Whereas this one, I'm just wrapping just to show you. There we go. All right. Now let's start on the head first. So I'm just showing you this way just to give you an alternative, so a different way of doing it. So I want you to go ahead and wrap this yarn around the head. So then your string is down here. So then we're gonna go onto the foot, this little guy's foot. So we're gonna wrap around once, and then we're gonna go to the next one, wrap around once. So now we're on the tail. So go ahead and wrap around the tail. Now we're on this side of the turtle. We're on his back left foot. So go ahead, wrap around that. Go to the front foot and wrap around that. Just once. And now we're back at the head. So now, go ahead and do like I showed you on the first turtle. You're gonna hold it in the middle, and you're gonna keep turning it while you're wrapping once around each popsicle stick. Wrap around, wrap around. Or actually, so it's wrapping around this side. I should have drew his claws on the other side, so I'm going to do that at the end. But I was just showing you, this is a way of showing you where to wrap while you're wrapping. So we're starting at the head and we're working all the way around, kind of like a clock. So we're starting at 12 o'clock, this is 6 o'clock, this is 2 o'clock, this is 4 o'clock, this is 8 o'clock, this is 9 o'clock. So you could also see it as a clock. So we're working our way around the turtle or around the clock in order to get back to the top. So wrapping. And I'm going very fast, I know, but I'm just showing you how to do it a different way. So that way you could try different things. You don't have to do it one way. You could always try different ways in order to explore different ways of doing things. Like I said, once you get the hang of it, it turns out to be really easy. But you might get frustrated at first, but please don't get frustrated. This is a really fun project. Maybe frustrating at first because you don't get it or you don't understand. I'm sorry if you don't understand. I'm trying my best to explain. It's harder when you guys aren't here, so I wish this whole situation will end so that way you guys can come back and have fun in my art classes, because I really miss you guys. Because it is easier to show you in person. Now, if you have an adult present and watching with you, they can also help you, because they might understand a little bit better than you do. So please ask for help if you don't understand. Oops. So I'm going really far out, or a little further out of my popsicle sticks, so that way the feet are a little bit smaller. That's up to you on how far you want to go. So here's the other side. Bam. There's the other side. Look at how cool that looks. Now the middle part, for my liking, I don't like the middle, but that's just how I wrapped it on my popsicle sticks. So if you want to start it off like a little bit more organized, I should say, you would wrap it around a little bit more uniform on the popsicle sticks when you first start, instead of just wrapping around it. But that's how it could look if you just start wrapping around in the middle instead of starting it off like this, nice and neat. But I just did it really fast so I could show you a different way of doing this weaving technique. So this shape kind of turned out like a hexagon. That's kind of cool. I like that. Yeah. And it kind of has that oval shape like most turtle shells look. So that's also another way of doing it. So I'm gonna end this turtle. I'm gonna cut that off. Add a little glue. Go. Now you could have the face on this side if you like, but I would add the face and the claws or of your turtle at the end of your weaving. I did it at the beginning so that way I could show you a different way. So just snip that off. Like that. And now I'm just gonna draw the face and the paws now. So I don't know, where should it go? I think I'm gonna do the face down here. So that's the tail, so I'm not gonna put anything on there. Little claws. Little claws. So there you go, you got a fun looking turtle right there. Or if you don't want this to be a turtle, you don't have to. You could just leave it as is without drawing it or making it a turtle. You could just leave it as this shape or leave it as this shape without the extra stuff. And it kind of looks cool just leaving it like that. Or you could turn it into something else. That's up to you. I want you guys to really use your imagination, use your creativity in order to create something new. If you can. If you don't, that's fine. You could always just do these and make fun little turtles with me. No problem. And again, if you do make these, please send me pictures. I would love to see them. I'd love to see what you guys make and create. So now I'm just going to show you another project that you could possibly do. And this one, I'm going to show you how to start it, because this one is a little different. This is another weaving project that you could do. And this is just, you could use cardboard, but if you don't have any cardboard, this is the, like, almost like a tag board. Some of you don't know what that is, and that's fine. But this is the same material that they use for cereal boxes. So what you could use is a cereal box. So when you're done using or eating your cereal, you could cut your cereal box, and then using a bowl or a circular object, you're just going to trace. So I'm using a bowl. And there you go. Perfect circle. There we go. And now with a ruler, you are going to make lines. So using a ruler, or just a straight edge. If you have a straight edge, that's fine. You could also use another piece of cardboard or the other end of your cereal box, whatever you're using. And you're just going to cut the circle in half, or draw a line right down the middle. And then you're going to go, so we're basically making a pie. And if you're not happy with your lines, go ahead and flip it over, because I was not happy with my lines. So just try your best to get it in the middle. There we go. That's better. And I also recommend doing it in pencil, so that way if you don't like your lines, you could always erase. There we go. So on this one, I decided to do more. You could do more if you like, but if you don't, you don't have to. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. You could do twice that if you want. So you can make it super stringy, I would say, in order to get a different kind of weave, but that's up to you. So then next, what you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors, and you're just going to go like that, just a little bit. You're just going to cut a tiny, tiny line. See? Teeny tiny. Oh, teeny tiny. I'm just making a little snip in my cardboard or cereal box, whichever you have used. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is to keep the string in place. There we go. Make sure you got all of them cut. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my string. Now, I chose yellow for the string that's going to hold it together, and then I'm using blue to make my weave. I recommend doing 2 different colors, so that way you could see what you're doing. But if you want to do one color, that's fine. Just be wary of what you're doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of string, And I am gonna run out of time for this video, so I hope I can show you. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna tie that string and tie it in the middle to make like a straight line, just like that. And then cut that piece off, cut the extra off. So that way it looks like that. So then next, you're gonna do the same thing, but on a different line. So I did the one going up to down. Now we're doing the one side, this side to that side, so left to right. So go ahead, tie that down. Now you're going to do the diagonal. So all you're doing right now is just tying knots. So then we're going to go to this one. And if you don't want to be tied to the ball of yarn, you could always cut a piece off for yourself and then tie it just like that, and then cut the extra off. So there you go. Now to start, I like using a popsicle stick. I like using popsicle sticks with all my crafts. I'm sorry. Or you could use a pencil. You could always use a pencil or whatever you have. You could also use a toothpick. Toothpick works too. I'm gonna get some green, just so I could start it for you. And I would get some tape. And I'm just making myself a little needle. So there you go. I kind of made like a needle and thread just now. And then go ahead, take the other end of your yarn, slip it underneath all of your string, and then go ahead and you're gonna knot all of your pieces of string together, just like that. So I just tied a knot. And then what you're gonna do is you could start anywhere. You could start anywhere if you wanna. I'm gonna cut that little tail off. So you could start anywhere you like. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go under, pull all the way through, then go over this one. So go over the next one. And if it falls out, it falls out. Woo! I've got my scissors in there. Woo! So under, we're going over this one, and then under the other one. So then we're gonna go over this one, under that one. So I'm gonna show you on my other one really quick. So all you're doing is under and over. That is it. That is all you're doing until, and you're not gonna pull all the way because then you're gonna scrunch up your yarn. So just push it towards each other. Don't go all the way out here and leave it hanging, and then go right into the next one. And then just leave it like that. You're gonna push that string towards the center, and then you're gonna keep going. So if it helps, go and work towards the middle. All right? So you're just gonna keep going around and around. And then you can make it look like a sun. You could decorate the outside if you like. You could add little beads to it if you want. You could do so many different things with this. I'm just showing you the starting point. And again, if you try this one, I would love to see what your finished product is. Because everyone's is going to be different. So there we go. So all you're doing is going over one string, under another one. I added more string to make like more of a different weave on this one. You're gonna get a different one on this one. So I did this one just to show you how to get started, and then I want you to complete it, but this is just a different way of doing it. And if it helps, I tape the back. So go ahead, before you start, I should have said that, I'm sorry. Go ahead and tape that down. So that way it doesn't slip off on you or move around on you. It stays in one place. So go ahead, tape that, glue it down if you want to, but I use tape, it's a little less messy, but don't use all the tape at home. Make sure your family has some tape. So I hope you liked today's activity. Hi. So I hope you liked today's activity. I'm sorry I didn't complete this one all the way through, but we're just running out of time. I should have done this one first, so that way you were able to see, so I apologize. But I really wanted to do the turtle one. So I really hope you liked our little turtle craft here, doing the God's Eye weave. So I really would like you guys to research this kind of weave, because there's so many different things you could do with it. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope you guys have a great week and a great upcoming weekend, and I hope you guys are staying safe, staying clean, keeping your distance from other people, and also learning some new things while you're at home with your family, and just having a good time in general. So I hope you liked this video, and have a good day. Bye-bye.